You know, there's broke and there's broke. Rich people will tell you I'm broke. Now lie, oh. You know, there's this broke that you say you are broke, but you know there's something somewhere that gives you that confidence. How many of you know what I'm saying? But there's a certain type of broke that when you are broke, that kind of broke, you are broke emotionally, you are broke mentally, you are broke psychologically. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are all looking amazing. Can you help me tap your neighbor and say, you're looking amazing? Yes, we are here, live and direct. Thank you to everybody that came very early. And thank you to our keynote speaker. He was here at 9. So please let me appreciate him. He told me already he was going to come very early, though. I'm supposed to just give like a speech, so it's not a vote of thanks session yet. So I'll come back to that and the intros. Thank you to my special friends. I see a few of my friends who are here. And of course, the inner cycle members. Let me clap for them. I am very definite and certain that we're going to have an amazing time today. If you came in quite late, you must have missed breakfast. But I'm sure you can still stroll to the back to maybe grab a cup of tea or cupcake or whatever. And of course, we came ready for you. We have lunch as well. So it's a complete package with Sako, TMO, the keynote speaker, and all the panelists. We are in for an amazing time. So I would like to just leave you with an acronym today. People who are close to me know that I like to work with acronyms, right? When I speak anywhere, I like to give people acronyms to go home with. Something that you would always remember the program for. So, something you would remember the 4th Smart Stewards Summit for. So, I'm going to give you that acronym, and it is centered around personal finance, personal financial management. And when I went through the registration list, I saw loads and loads and loads of questions. Gosh, from guys, please let me celebrate all the men that are here before I go on. A lot of men reached out to me on social media asking, can we come? And I said, please come. So thank you for coming. So I saw a lot of questions, relating to things like, how can I make more money? How can I invest? How can I support my wife better? How can I, all those financial things. And that gave me like a cue on what to talk about in this opening, is it opening speech? Yes. So I won't take our time too much. My acronym is the word LANE. LANE. Please let me just tap your neighbor. LANE. That's the acronym for today. Yes. And I'm going to start with the word L, which is literacy. Financial literacy. If you have been following me on social media for a while, you would realize that I've been harping a lot on the need to become financially literate. Sako mentioned a tweet that I put out, about 2 months ago. I never knew that was going to be a tipping point for me. I was in Abuja, and, I just had some introspection, and I remembered my journey, and I'm like, wow. I mean, I've been qualified like 18 years, yes, as a chartered accountant, but for a better part of my career, I didn't have a clue about my finances. I was always broke. I was always miserable. There's broke and there's broke. Rich people will tell you I'm broke. Now lie, oh. There's this broke that you say you are broke, but there's something somewhere that gives you that confidence. How many of you know what I'm saying? But there's a certain type of broke that when you are broke, that kind of broke, you are broke emotionally, you are broke mentally, you are broke psychologically. Yeah. There was a time in my life, very, very much, my early career, I was earning so well, like a single lady. But I was Always miserable because 2, 3 days, 4 days after salary, I was broke. I wasn't into all of this designer, all of these bags. I wasn't building a house. I just didn't have an idea of what I was doing with my finances. And I thought I needed deliverance, like a lot of people think they do. When it comes to money issue, you're like, some village people are after me. It's not village people. It is illiteracy that is following you around. So I put out that tweet like, I've been qualified 18 years and look at it. I left school at 20 and then I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do as an accountant. Yes, I kept doing all of the sit behind the computer, do financial statements, but I knew there was more to my life. And 4, 5 years ago, we started Smart Stewards. And look at those amazing testimonies. By the way, Taiwo flew in from Singapore this morning. I'm sure she changed her flight just to be a part of this summit. And look at the testimonies. Imagine building a house in Ibadan that is worth 32 million. Please pay your tithes and come and pay a cycle tithe. I was miserable, I was sad, and after a while, God told me, you know what, you have to set your house in order because I'm going to use you to revolutionize the lives of people. I'm like, me, always broke. I was always getting IOU from my subordinates at work. Like, how can the finance manager be always broke 4 days after salary? It was like I was under a spell. The money was gone. I would save. 1 week after, I would go into my savings. How many of you are like that? You save, it's touch and save. Touch and go. You save, you go back. How many of us are like, you know what I'm saying, Abby? Anyway, after a while, I started to apply myself to knowledge, to reading. I started to read about personal finance. And it's amazing because now I look at my life, I'm like, really? Is this me? Those temptations that used to make me trip, they no longer, I could have money in my account 1 year, I won't touch it. I won't even remember it's there as long as it is yielding, the returns. So the first thing I'm going to leave you with today is literacy. Remember I said the acronym is what? LANE. On your personal financial lane. Don't look at people around you. It is about you and about your journey. So, literacy. That you have a PhD does not necessarily mean you are going to be prudent with your finances. Do you agree with me? Some of us are master's degree holders. We have MBAs. We are chartered. Yet our accounts, our finances are scattered all over the place. So you go to school, education refines your mind. It makes you think in a particular way. That is the same thing financial literacy does to you. So you go to school, they teach you how to become a doctor. They don't teach you how to manage your finances. You need to go through the school of financial literacy. And it's not anything, you reading books, following people who are, finance experts, coaches, so to say. You're reading, you are subscribed to newsletters, you watch videos, you listen to webinars and a lot more. Gradually, a piece of information today from somebody, another piece from another person, all would add up at the end of the day, and you see yourself becoming a better financial manager. Are you with me? So how financially literate are you? That's one of the questions you need to leave this place with. Recently I read a book or an article, I can't remember, about financial quotient. You have IQ. There's IQ, financial IQ, financial intelligence IQ. Some people have very high IQ in the everyday affair, but when it comes to finances, they don't have a clue. I talk to people every day like, hey, really? Oh, there's a mutual fund that can give you 12% per annum. Really? But I have about 20 million in fixed deposits, giving me about 6%. That person's financial IQ is low. Okay? So you can step it up by doing some of the things I mentioned, by reading, by applying yourself to wisdom. So financial literacy is very key. Imagine your house help who doesn't understand. One day I was at work and I needed a piece of information on a paper. So I called home and I said, On this part of the shelf, there's a paper there. Can you read out something? I needed a number, and it was really, really urgent. But because there were so many numbers, digits, she couldn't pinpoint the exact one I needed. And the information I needed was time sensitive. I had to drive all the way home to get it. Imagine if she had a little bit of literacy or education, she would have saved me that stress. That's the same way it is. When you're not financially literate, you know you don't have savings, but you'll still spend money. Please, don't make people say, Ashebi is not good. I'm not saying Ashebi is not good. I'm not saying don't spend. And that's one thing I always like to tell people. Being a smart steward isn't about you not spending money. You have to spend money. Even a baby that was born yesterday is spending money, even though they are spending on his or her behalf. Life is about spending. May we not see reasons why we would not spend in Jesus' name. So we would always spend, but we have to be thrifty, we have to be frugal, we have to be literate enough to know what and what things to spend on. Accountability. We are talking about lane, and I already, spoke about literacy. Accountability. There's a quote, I think, by Stephen Covey that says that accountability breeds responsibility. Are you accountable to yourself? Some people are not even accountable to themselves. I'll give you an example. You're supposed to go to work at 7:30. It's always a struggle for you to wake up. 7:15, you're still dancing around the house. 7:30, oh, my children, somebody, is my house. Little things. Time management, you're not accountable. Money management, you can't isolate your finances from every other thing happening in your life. Some of us, the issue we have is the issue of indiscipline. If you can just apply a bit of discipline to your life, your finances will get better. So deal with little things. You keeping to time. Dr. Banjoko told me he was going to be here at 9. I was still on my way when they said he was here. At 9. That is a man of his word. And your word is your money, right? Your word is your life. So when it comes to your personal finances, business finances, your journey to financial freedom, if you want to make a headway, you have to be accountable to yourself, first of all, and to people around you. You hear people talking about the inner circle. It's not a biggie. What we do there is just to encourage ourselves, talk about our finances, every month we do a review. How have you fared in the last 1 month? So, by doing so, you are making yourself accountable to people to say, you know what? I can't do this alone. I need help in this area. Some of us, we know our spending triggers. You see a good bag, if I don't buy it, I will die here. Some of us, we know, we've extensioned, right? We all have those spending triggers. Sometimes all you need to do is to just make yourself accountable to someone. Number 3, which is N. Be particular about building your net worth. How many of us have heard the word net worth? Your net worth simply means your value, basically. Your assets versus your liabilities. Your assets are things that bring economic value to you, and your liabilities are things that take away economic, value from you. What are examples of assets? Can we give me examples? Houses, investments, cars. Some people will tell you a car is not an asset. Is a car really an asset? Anything happens, bam, 150K. Next week, another thing happens with the roads in Nigeria. I don't know, but don't let them come and revoke my ICANN license. According to accounting, a car is an asset. But in the real world of it, I'm not sure a car is an asset, because at the end of the day, it takes so much value from you. What are other examples of assets that you have? Sorry? Shares, equities, So your assets have to be necessarily more and bigger than your liabilities. That's what having a positive net worth means. So on your day-to-day, journey to personal financial freedom, ask yourself, so this thing that I am buying, is it going to deplete my assets or is it going to add to my liabilities? Is my net worth going to get better? Recently I read a tweet by one of my friends, and she was justifying why a Brazilian weave, is an asset. How many of us agree that a weave is an asset and you can use it for 10 years? Go ahead. When you finish using it, go and sell it. I'm not saying it's not good, but I'm just trying to, because some things are not necessarily black and white. Some things may be an asset to you as far as you're concerned, and it may not be an asset to some other people. Okay, so ask yourself, this investment or this endeavor or this thing I'm putting my money in, of what benefit is it going to be in the next 5 years? Sometimes when you do a bit of introspection, it just helps you take better money decisions. And the last one, of course, E. Who can guess? Who can guess? E. Expenditure. There are 2 E's actually. Your earning and your expenses. Remember I said, I've just tried to put together as a summary all the things that you need to bear in mind on your journey to personal finances. Earnings. The goal is more money, whether one source of income or multiple sources of income, right? More money. I already mentioned that whether you're a baby or an adult, as long as you have taken up a space in this world, you will spend money. So you have to be particular about your earnings. Explore multiple sources of income. Collaborate to make more money as we go into 2020. By the way, 2020 used to be like 100 years time. Abby, 2020 is next year, my people. So collaborate to make more money. Monetize your skills. Look out for difficulties around you, problems. Provide solutions to them. Just make sure you have a healthy and a positive cash flow. I can't begin to tell you some of the things I do because you will laugh. But you know what? I call myself the queen of multiple sources of income. And I take pride in it. Because when money hits my account, my bank account doesn't discriminate. Whether it is from Puff Puff or confectionery or speaking engagement or whatever. So improve on your earnings this year and tame your expenses. Watch your expenses. Keep them sane. Keep them compact. Keep them succinct. Keep them together. I hope I've been able to make some sense. As we go into the summit proper, sit back, enjoy yourself, and have an amazing time. God bless you.